legend of the deep. Fierce, fast, and feared by man, lurking below the surface, the most dangerous predator of the sea. Join us for an adventure into the underwater world and learn the truth about sharks. See the females deliver new pups. Watch these dangerous predators attack their next meal. Prepare for a personal encounter with these terrifying fish on this edition of Unspoiled Planet. Most people believe that sharks are big, ferocious eating machines that randomly attack people. This is just one of many myths about sharks. They certainly look vicious and are threatening, but looks can be deceiving. The fact is, sharks only eat when they are hungry and often go for days or even weeks without feeding. Sharks tend to swallow their food whole or in large chunks. When they do eat, they mostly prefer fish, mollusks, and crustaceans. Humans are not on the menu. Of the nearly 400 different species, only 30 have been involved in attacks on humans. Most experts believe that shark attacks on humans are generally cases of mistaken identity. In 1969, after analyzing the archives of shark attack files, H. David Baldridge, a shark expert for the Navy, published the first scientific paper to suggest that most shark attacks are not motivated by feeding.
We went through all of these files, but that in a great percentage of the cases there was very little tissue lost, that a great number of the wounds were slashes and not bites, and that most victims survived. I started considering then that if this were true, that a lot of the wounds were slashes and not bites, the people were surviving. The sharks are extremely effective feeders. Perhaps a great percentage of shark attacks were not attempts to feed at all. But in about 3/4 of the cases, it might have to do with simply that you present to the shark, from the shark's point of view, some form of threat. And this is a preemptive strike of some kind. It could just be a probing strike to see what you are. It could simply be a form of communication. Shark has no voice, can't bark or anything like that. So it could be essentially the shark's way of driving you from the area.
In many attacks, the shark bites and releases its victim. There is no question that being attacked by a shark can be terrifying. With teeth hard as steel and sharp as razors, the damage can be devastating, but rarely fatal. Keep in mind that statistically, shark attacks are rare. In the United States, you have a greater chance of being in a fatal bicycle accident than being killed by a shark, and a greater chance of being struck by lightning than being attacked by a shark. Some people think sharks have terrible eyesight. However, sharks have excellent vision, even in dim light. Even though sharks have upper and lower eyelids, they don't blink. In addition to their keen vision, sharks have a great sense of smell. They are able to detect very small amounts of blood, even as far as a half-mile away. Most of the shark's brain is devoted to smell. Some scientists believe that sharks are very intelligent with well-developed brains. Sharks also have electroreceptors that cover large areas of skin near the mouth and nose on the shark's snout. They are natural electrical sensors which, at close range, can detect the weak electrical fields generated by all animals, even a heartbeat. They can use these receptors to locate prey without seeing it. These receptors can also detect changes in water temperature and salinity. The wide variety of sharks display a number of unique characteristics. Some range in size from only several inches in length to more than 40 feet. One of the most common species in the world is the blue shark. They prefer cool waters and can be found in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, as well as connecting waters such as the Mediterranean. These fish are one of the most recognizable species. It has a bright blue tail and fins, a long, thin body, and a long, conical snout. On average, they live for 20 years and grow to 6 feet long. Females are larger. The largest blue shark on record was 12.5 feet long. Blue sharks feed on small, bony fish and invertebrates such as squid. Commercial fishing claims an estimated 6.5 million blue sharks as bycatch each year. They are the most common sharks caught incidentally in high-sea fisheries. Often, fishermen cut off their fins and sell them to Asian markets, where shark fins are a delicacy. This predator is not timid and should be approached with caution. They have been known to attack humans and boats. Now, take a look at these teeth. Did you know that some sharks may shed as many as 30,000 teeth in a lifetime? They have an unlimited supply of teeth. Most sharks have a few rows of teeth at the same time and are constantly growing new ones. Some sharks have as many as 3,000 teeth at one time. As teeth in the front row fall out, replacement teeth come forward, like a conveyor belt. In some sharks, like a sand tiger, more than one row of teeth are functional, but some do not use the replacement teeth until they come to the front row. The shark's teeth are the only part of its body that fossilizes because sharks do not have bones. The shark's skeleton is formed of cartilage, just like you have in your nose and ears. Cartilage is less dense than bone and is very strong and flexible, increasing the shark's ability to maneuver. Unlike most bony fish that grow rapidly, sharks grow slowly, and most take many years to mature. Consequently, they are slow to reproduce as well. Females are usually larger than males. Many of the large sharks only reproduce every other year, while some reproduce annually. Generally, sharks have a low birth rate and tend to produce small numbers of young. Interestingly, all sharks do not reproduce the same way. Dr. Carl Luer at the Mote Marine Lab in Florida has been studying shark reproduction.
As far as reproduction and embryonic development goes, these animals are also a very interesting model. Reproduction in the shark, skates, and rays is as advanced as the birds and mammals, and much more advanced than their bony fish relatives.
Some of the more primitive species, such as zebra sharks, swell sharks, and horn sharks, lay eggs in the water that must survive unguarded until they hatch. Others, such as bull sharks, lemon sharks, blue sharks, and hammerheads, hatch eggs inside the female and are fed in a placental sac by an umbilical cord. But the most common method of reproduction is eggs developing inside the female that are fed by a yolk sac. No placenta, no umbilical cord. Tiger sharks, angel sharks, and dogfish sharks are among the species in this group. Makos, white sharks, and sand tigers hatch within the female and are nourished by eggs she produces by ovulation. These sharks reproduce in low numbers, but deliver large offspring with a greater chance of survival. Up next, blood in the water, the greatest threats to sharks, on Unspoiled Planet. While most people fear sharks, one of the greatest threats to sharks is people. In the underwater world, sharks are at the top of the food chain and generally are not sought by other predators, perhaps with the exception of bull sharks who feed on other sharks. Experts say the shark population is declining primarily due to overfishing, both sport and commercial fishing. Dr. Gordon Hubble is a shark enthusiast in Florida.
They've existed for these hundreds of millions of years, almost unchanged since the beginning, and nothing has threatened them until recent years, and now man is a very real threat to them. And the weak part of their evolutionary history is their reproduction. Their reproductive rate is so slow that if you decimate a shark population, it's generations before they come back, if then. For instance, the average gray sharks out here, like the lemons, the blacktips, the bulls, sandbars, they produce an average of perhaps 8 young every 2 years. If you were to study the bony fishes, you'd find out they produce thousands of young every year. And that's why you can take a fish like the snook or the kingfish, close the season for a couple of years, they come right back. If you did that for sharks, it probably wouldn't have much effect. It'd probably be 10, 20 years before they come back. So overfishing now is getting to be a real threat with the shark survival.
Many sharks are caught accidentally in commercial fishing nets seeking other catch, such as tuna and swordfish. Some experts report that up to 700,000 tons of sharks are caught by fishermen who cut off their fins and release them back to the water. This makes an average of about 100 million sharks per year, or about 3 sharks per second. Without its fins, the shark sinks to the bottom of the ocean and drowns. Hong Kong imports shark fins from 125 countries and exports them to 75 countries. Mexico, Japan, and Singapore are the most important traders for shark fins. Sharks have 5 different fins. They are very rigid and make up about 7% of its total body weight. A pair of pectoral fins lift the shark as it swims. The pelvic fins function as stabilizers. The dorsal fins also stabilize the shark. And the caudal fin propels the shark. Some species have a single anal fin for stability as well. Great white, mako, tiger, and hammerhead are fast swimmers whose tails have lobes that are almost the same size. A great white averages 2 to 3 miles per hour, but is capable of 40 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. Slower swimming sharks have tails that are more asymmetrical. These fish cannot stop suddenly or swim backwards. Their pectoral fins cannot bend upwards like other fish, so its swimming is limited to forward motion only. It is widely believed that all sharks must swim to stay alive. Sharks, like other fish, breathe by filtering oxygen from the water with their gills. To breathe, water must continually flow over their gills and out of the gill slits located on the sides of their heads. By resting in a current or constantly swimming, the shark can keep water moving through its gills. But some sharks rest on the bottom and use their fins to fan water across its gills, or they can pump water over their gills by opening and closing their mouths. When Unspoiled Planet continues, what surprises are lurking here on the bottom? The waters are home to many different types of sharks, but most sharks have many characteristics in common. For example, a feature called countershading. Valerie Reichuk, a senior aquarist at SeaWorld in Ohio, explains.
They're usually darker on the dorsal or their backs and lighter underneath. And why that is important is because if they're after, say, an injured fish, the fish is below them. If the fish is looking up, it appears very light and into the sun, so they might not see the predator. If the fish is above, it's the opposite. They're dark, they're looking down, so they might not try to swim away as quickly. And then before you know it, the shark, with all their many important senses, they have a series of sensory pores on their face and down their sides that allow them to sense when there's an injured animal or a potential prey.
Now, take a look at the brown shark, also known as the sandbar shark. It is an abundant species found in temperate and tropical waters worldwide, inshore and offshore. It prefers the deep water from 60 to 200 feet. This fish, when fully grown, is about 6 to 8 feet long. Notice that the brown shark has 2 dorsal fins, the first one being rather prominent. This unique characteristic and its coloration makes the brown shark easy to recognize. Though they appear to be vicious predators, the brown shark is harmless to humans. Brown sharks deliver 1 to 14 pups per litter. Gestation time varies with location, but usually takes between 8 and 12 months. The pups are born fully formed and physically able to fend for themselves. See how this newborn takes off just moments after birth. Then there is the lemon shark. Lemon sharks look similar to bull sharks and tiger sharks and are very common in the Bimini Islands, where Dr. Samuel Gruber of the University of Miami has been studying them for years.
A lemon shark will grow to maturity. They hang around the place where they were born, ever expanding out their horizons until they get about 12 years old, just about like humans. When humans are 12, they become mature. And then we believe they undertake large oceanic migrations, then they go spread out all through the islands, but they come back like a salmon. They home back to their island where they were born. We believe this is true. We have some evidence, but now we want to get hard evidence about that part of their life history, what the older ones do.
Dr. Gruber takes groups of inner-city students out to explore the waters every year. They are confronted with the amazing world of sharks and rays. For some, this is their first adventure into the water ever. You can imagine the excitement of seeing their first shark. The underwater world is always full of surprises. A pair of sharks hiding beneath a rock. A sea turtle swimming by. Or a stingray buried in the sand. See how this amazing ray appears to fly through the water. Rays are also a member of the shark family. Look closely and you'll see they are very similar, just flat. They breathe the same way, by passing water over its gills. But the ray's gill slits are on the underside. Water can be drawn in through its mouth or large holes called spiracles some sharks and rays have behind their eyes. There are other similarities as well. Rays have a skeleton made of cartilage, as well as specialized jaws and teeth. Their jaws are strong enough to crush shells. The skin on sharks and rays are covered with dermal denticles. It's like sandpaper, small tooth-like structures covering the skin, armor protecting against predators and abrasion. Like sharks, rays reproduce by either laying eggs or bearing live young. Rays also have electrosensors. Watch how this ray is attracted to a very weak electric current. And watch this one enjoy a few bites. With their electrosensors, a ray can detect food up to 6 feet away, even when it is buried beneath the sand. They are fond of eating anemones, worms, crustaceans, clams, and serpent stars. They are able to suck the food right out of the sand. Electric rays have a pair of organs that produce an electric discharge capable of stunning or killing their prey. Some rays are quite dangerous. The Atlantic stingray has a venomous barb on its whip-like tail that can inflict a serious wound. A saw shark is an unusual fish that resembles a ray, a shark, and something out of your toolbox. That long saw-like snout does have teeth and is used to attack prey. The fish also has small teeth in its jaw for eating. Like a ray, its pectoral fins are like wings, but its gill slits are on the side of its head, not underneath. Although most experts believe that sharks have existed for millions of years and changed very little over all these years, there is still much to learn. Scientists like Sonny Gruber continue to explore the shark world and discover new things all the time. Someday, he hopes to unlock the secrets of the shark's incredible healing power. The amazing underwater world of sharks holds many, many mysteries. And so does the rest of this unspoiled planet.